Tuesday. It is July 14th, 2026. A bit cloudy out there this morning. Very good chance for some showers this afternoon. 80% chance of rain, 82 for the high. Wednesday, we'll have some sunshine, but still about a 30% chance of showers, 87 the high. 40% chance of rain for Thursday and Friday. And as we get closer to the weekend, we'll begin to see those temperatures back into the 90s. And got a problem out on the interstates this morning, 65 northbound just before 4:59. As we hear Phil Carter in the traffic center, there's some delays there. If you got to go through there, just know it's going to take a little longer this morning. But thanks for listening. Stixon and Vining at Talk 99.5, talk995.com, and now on YouTube at Real Talk 995 TV.
Yeah,
and
ma'am.
if you're having trouble hearing us, that we got a little issue and will be for a little while, you can download the app
You should.
to listen to us from there.
Yep.
And, a lot of you have the same routine and things may be a little different. Might be a little time, but there will be a time where we will be able to be heard from the same areas that we were before.
Far and wide.
Yeah. It's
Not just far,
wide, too.
also wide.
Mhm.
That's right. Wide is half of it.
That is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have at least wide. It is
Only
7:07.
it's not a square. It's more of a circle, isn't
It's,
it?
well, it's
Yeah,
kind of, yeah, radiates
kinda
out from the antenna
Yeah.
in a variety, but it's more of a rhombus.
A rhombus.
Yes, a rhombus. Bit of
Okay.
a rhombus. Because the signal goes further in one direction
Than others?
than some others, yes.
On
But
certain days.
it's a
on certain
100,000
times.
watt stick that right now is crippled a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah,
It's
it
coming
broke
back.
a leg.
It will come
It
back.
broke a leg and an arm.
It's like when a horse does that, you know?
Oh, you're not saying that we're going to put us down.
No,
No.
but you do have to shoot the tower.
Oh, jeez.
And Larry the Cable Guy jokers. My horse broke its leg, so I shot it. Now it's got a broken leg and a gunshot wound. I don't know. Is it supposed to help him heal or something? Parrot Structural Services, parrotss.com, 668-2626. Foundations can be funny things. You can have a house that was built in 1902 and never have a single problem with that foundation. It's not about the foundation so much as it is about the ground around the foundation, right? Another part of town, a house that was built in 1995, begins collapsing and crumbling and leaning and sinking. Again, it's the ground, it's not the foundation. This is why you need somebody who's got the know-how, the understanding, got all the tools necessary, and that's Parrot Structural Services. Look, there are a lot of foundation companies in and around the Birmingham metro area, all over the state, as a matter of fact. And there's a reason for that. It's because we are number 2 for sinkholes in the Birmingham metro area after the entire state of Florida. No kidding. Number 2 in the country. We're so proud. But what you need is somebody who's got the experience and the integrity, somebody who has done work on, for instance, state government buildings in Montgomery and municipal buildings in other cities around the state. People that, our government trusts to do their work, you can trust because they get a life of the structure warranty. They're very good at what they do. I've used them a number of times, and they're the only ones that I trust. Licensed, bonded, insured, E-Verify compliant, parrotss.com, 668-2626. Horrible story out of L.A., where Vons, grocery store out there, Vons Supermarket. I have been there a number of times. I used to live not too far away from L.A., and we had a Vons in our neck of the woods. This one is one in Grenada Hills, neighborhood of Los Angeles. And a shopper suffered a medical emergency in the bakery aisle.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. This happened on July 5th. You can actually, when you say medical emergency, they died. Okay, and it was a heart thing, and boom, down they went. The supervisor and an employee performed CPR in an attempt to save this customer.
Wow.
They were unsuccessful. And so Vons, the supermarket, did the only thing that one could expect a supermarket to do under these circumstances. They covered up the dead body with carts and umbrellas, and they kept the store open.
No.
What?
Foul.
Huh?
If nothing else, close down the bakery aisle. What the heck?
They're like, all their
What?
stuff is going to spoil. This is only good for one day. What are you talking about?
That's
Come
terrible.
on, we got to move this.
I
we
mean,
gotta
out
move
of
this
respect for
merchandise.
this person that died in the middle of, think if it was you or your loved one. Everybody's still pushing their shopping cart down the aisle, and oh, look at this wonderful baked bread. Watch out for that right there.
Yeah, try
Keep
not
going. Don't hit that.
don't step on the dead body.
What?
They put out the little yellow placards that are like wet floor. You're like, that's not.
That is terrible, Richard.
Hey, look, it's time you stop thinking about those people and start thinking about the Albertsons, that's the parent company of owns, shareholders, okay? What about them, Valerie? What about those people?
Oh, my heavens.
Yeah, cover up the body with shopping carts and umbrellas.
What's
and
wrong
keep
with
the
you
store open.
people?
Took 4 hours.
Do you not have any, my goodness, do you not have a bone in your body that just tells you that this is all wrong?
They have the money bone. That's what they have.
Ah.
Customer's family was at this store with the body for 4 hours until the mortuary removed the remains.
How about we get an ambulance and somehow get him out of there? Or her, or whoever it was.
One of the employees said, it's something I've never, ever in my 27 years that I've worked for the company ever encountered or dealt with. This poor family is just sitting there. They can't even see their loved one. Why would you want to? They can't touch their loved one. They sat in the store for 4 hours while people continued to shop around their deceased loved one.
No, I'm sorry. We're closing the store for a little bit. Everybody leave. This person is dead on the floor.
Albertsons,
For the love.
parent company, said that it works with authorities to evaluate each situation based on the circumstances present. And in this particular case, we had a big sale on croissants that day.
Let me just tell you,
So.
Vons, Albertsons, you failed miserably at this. That's just awful. That's not acceptable.
We're saddened by the tragic situation. Our thoughts are with the individual's family and loved ones. Our team contacted emergency responders and supported first responders as they attended to the medical emergency, as well as local police who remained present. We worked closely with emergency responders and law enforcement to evaluate each situation based on the circumstances present. And by the way, we had a sale on croissants.
That does not say that. Richard made that up.
Additional details, including the deceased name and cause of death, were not released. Out of respect for the privacy of the individual. Privacy? People walked by and were buying sale croissants around them. What privacy are you talking about here? We should know everything about this person. I need details. How old were they? Were they a U.S. senator? These are answers we need. Those affected by the situation, including our associates, we will not be sharing additional details. Albertson said, yeah, we feel kind of bad about this. We looked bad.
Yeah, it looks really bad on
Yeah.
Gee.
The Albertson spokesman is like, why does everything happen to me?
And why did it take 4 hours?
4 hours.
Good heavens.
Because it's L.A. They had several other bodies they had to pick up. I mean, come on. They're very busy
This
in
one
LA.
was not a priority.
They're constantly
We're
picking
just going to
up
leave the
bodies.
person in the bakery aisle
They
for
had-
4
They had
hours.
gunshot victims, fire victims. They had, people who'd been bludgeoned to death. They had to get all them first, and then
And worst comes to
eventually-
worst, they just could have taken the body and put it in the dairy freezer.
Right, or something.
Plus,
Move.
they figured we can make this stop last, and we can also do a little shopping while we're there, pick up the body, and then take the sale croissants home.
Have you ever heard of a story like this?
No, I have not. This is the first one for me. But
This
then
is-
again,
this
I don't
is
get out much.
California.
Yes, it is.
This is California.
They're a little on the cool side.
Cool.
Yeah.
They're cold,
Cold.
not cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is just awful. It really is.
Well,
People shopping around a body that's laying in the aisle of the
to
bakery.
be fair, it was covered up with carts and umbrellas. Many people had no idea what it was. They were probably like, can I take a peek under there? What is that? What's going on with that? Are these umbrellas on sale, by the way?
It's terrible. Terrible. Just terrible.
Wonder how many shoppers lost their appetite once they saw that.
Right? I'd be like,
Mm-mm.
we got to go.
Uh,
Kids, we got to go.
gonna be-
We'll get that free cookie another day.
days before I'll be able to eat these croissants. 7:15 with Dixon inviting. On Talk 99.5. You're laughing about somebody who died in the bakery aisle, Richard. If you don't laugh, you cry.
That's right.
Last I checked, none of us are getting out of this alive, okay?
Nope. Not a one of us.
Lighten up, Francis. Yeah, you got to be careful with that one. That's one you got to be real careful with. 720 Dixon Divining, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. You ever have the friend who was dating somebody who you were just like, ugh, no, that's a bad choice, bad person. You're making a bad move there. But you never say anything because it's your best friend, right? You're not
Well,
going
and
to say
it's
anything.
their decision.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Then they break up.
And then you say, oh,
and
I
then-
could have
and then
told
you're
you
like,
that a
yeah,
long time ago.
that
Then they
was-
go, well, why didn't you tell me?
Yeah. Well, here's the worst part. You're just like, yeah, that was the wrong person for you. They're terrible. They're an awful person. Wrong for you in every way. Questionable. Think they lied to you multiple times that I could prove. And then they get back together the next day. And now you're the bad guy. Suddenly you're the bad guy. You're kind of like,
got to tiptoe around all of that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just looking, got visuals on this problem on 65 northbound. It's right at the 459 interchange, and everybody's in the far two left lanes, as Phil's been saying. But there is a vehicle that's loaded up on a tow truck. I'm hoping this is going to wrap up pretty soon. So
A lot of, by the way, rubberneckers on the south
Yeah, on
side
the
of that, which is
southbound
what's slowing
side.
that down. So
Yeah,
sorry
so-
about that.
Yep. If you're in a vehicle right now, maybe a truck or a SUV, maybe a sports car, you're ready to get into some kind of other vehicle. Maybe it's just something newer. You love what you got, but you're like, I got some miles on this. I'd like to get something new. We'll sell that used car through Birmingham Broker, and we truly believe in what Craig and the guys do at Birmingham Broker. My experience was off the charts, fantastic. Craig sold my car very quickly. I've sold a couple of cars on my own, and I don't want to do that anymore. I don't like the process. Not really safe thing to do. And the other thing is you got to be super knowledgeable. You can do your homework online and kind of look and figure out what the number is. But Craig has been doing this for so long that he'll get it exactly priced right so that A, he's not giving that car away when he sells it for you. He's trying to get as much equity out of the vehicle for you. And, B, that you get that money. He'll give you a check in hand. And it's really a safe way to sell your used vehicle too. So next time that you're in the process of wanting to get into another automobile, first sell your car through Birmingham Broker. And then you got that check, and I'll tell you what, go buy your next vehicle and see what kind of deal you can make with cash in hand, and that's really what it's all about. Get in touch with Craig and the guys at Birmingham Broker by going to bhambroker.com. That's the website. Or if you just like to go down and see him, he's in downtown Birmingham. Run your car by maybe this morning or lunch or something, maybe after work, and give them a couple of minutes to take a look at it, and they'll give you a number, what they think they can sell the car for. 2224 4th Avenue South, Birmingham Broker. And again, their website is bhambroker.com.
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, President Trump announced Monday the return of the U.S. blockade on Iranian ports and said that he will begin a fee for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz, which started yesterday. The strait is open and will remain open with or without Iran, and the U.S. will be known, as he said, the guardian of the Hormuz Strait. The U.S. will also be reimbursed at the rate of 20% on all cargo ships. And now a lot of people are like, well, why is the president doing this? Because no one else is helping. All of the resources are U.S. resources. And Trump's like, we'd like to get some of that money back. And we're looking at like $200 billion as long as this goes on, which is potentially what we could get. I don't know how all this works, how they're going to actually charge the 20%, but that's kind of the game plan right now. The latest exchange of fire started by an Iranian attack on a container ship Sunday in the Strait, and they have asserted control over the critical waterway of international oil and gas since the start of the conflict on the 28th of February. And Trump said, no, we're going to block you from doing anything. We're going to bomb some more so that you don't have the ability to do anything with these ships. And then we're going to charge this 20% on the cargo ships to be able to get through there because we can help to make sure that they safely get through.
Yep.
So that's where we are right now with this.
I believe we're going to be billing them. I think we actually
How do
just
you
send a country.
Cash App? Maybe
we
through
just-
Cash App?
I
Is
wouldn't
how
do
we
that.
Oh, not
that's,
Cash App.
That's questionable right there. But PayPal,
different.
I think, is still good.
Yeah, PayPal maybe.
Get that 20% through PayPal.
Yeah. Speaking of Cash App, the parent company will have to pay $45 million and overhaul its fraud prevention and customer service practices under a multi-state settlement. It includes our state here, Alabama. Our state will get just under $600,000 if the settlement with Block Incorporated. Block told Cash App users their money was safe, implying that the app worked like a bank with the same protections, which of course was not true. Block knew fraud on its platform was rising sharply, and instead of warning users of issues and working on protections, it doubled down on their marketing. Block policies didn't just fail to stop fraud in some ways, they made it even easier.
Mm-hmm.
So, big problem there, and the state of Alabama will get some of that money.
If I were ranking like money changing platforms, I would put Venmo way up there because, you know, I've never had a problem with them. They work fairly smoothly. I've used them to pay a number of bills. Zelle used to be good. I think they're out of business now. If they're not, they seem to have dropped off the face of the planet. PayPal, like I said, I don't like the fact that they take a little money. Cash App sort of feels like the Waffle House of money-changing apps, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
It feels like you're slumming. And I got to tell you, when you walk into an ABC store and there's a sign on the door that says, "We do not accept Cash App as a form of payment," you're like, okay, now we know who's dealing with these.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, maybe they got a little inkling from our Attorney General not to use that.
Could be.
Based on this story.
Well, I just
right?
don't think that there's a way that you can pay businesses with it and expect that it's going to go through. I don't know.
And finally, this story, the governor of South Carolina, Henry McMaster, announced yesterday that Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham Norden, has been named as her late brother's temporary replacement in the U.S. Senate. She will serve the remaining months on Lindsey's current term, which expires in January. She'll be sworn in, I believe, tomorrow, and will be the first woman to represent South Carolina in the U.S. Senate. Lindsey and his sister have always been very, very close. Their parents died when they were fairly young. He was left to raise his sister and later became her legal guardian, enlisted in the Air Force to make sure that he had some military benefits for the both of them. And a special election will be held in August to pick a new Republican nominee in the general election for Graham's seat, seeking a fifth term this year. He was seeking a fifth term this year.
He's not anymore.
No,
Yeah.
that's not happening.
Although he's still actually technically more alive than Mitch McConnell, so that's weird.
Yeah, the Mitch McConnell thing is weird. In the hospital since June, and it's due to a fall, but then we heard cardiac issues.
Can't get a straight answer because nobody's saying, and that's part of the problem.
And I don't, regardless of where you are on the aisle, Democrat, Republican, you've got to be transparent with this stuff.
I agree. I've always hated it when people just vanish off the face of the earth and pretend
that.
like it's no big deal.
No,
It is a big deal.
It is.
We need your vote, man. You're going to have to get back in the game, or you're going to have to step down and let the Kentucky Senate come up with a list of people. I wonder how many people were aware before his death, and even now I think people are not aware, that Lindsey Graham served for better than 30 years in the Air Force and the Air Force Reserve.
I think it was 33 years, maybe, something like that.
He really just retired in like 2016 or something like that. It was like 10 years ago.
It's amazing.
He was a lawyer, served them very well apparently, and had a lot to do with his public service call. That once he got to the point where he could run for office, he chose to do that. And look, he and I didn't agree on everything. There were some things that I would just, one of the things I always found frustrating is that he never found a war that he didn't want to send troops to.
Right.
And I was just like, whoa. There's like 7 steps before we get to the shooting part,
Right.
Like, calm down, man. He always seemed to want to, and by the way, John McCain was the other guy who was just such a hawk about these things. You're like, hey, let's dial it back a little bit, see if we can't resolve this thing without having to shoot some people first. But other than that, the guy, he would reach across the aisle. He was a problem solver, which is not something we're seeing often enough right now in the Senate or in Congress. In Congress as a body, they don't seem to be that interested in solving the problems. They seem to be interested in being right and playing to their base.
Yeah, and the other thing, some of what we are starting to learn about Lindsey Graham was his relationship with Donald Trump, because at first they were very much at odds. They were at opposite ends of the table, and toward the end of his life, he was talking to Trump almost daily.
Yep.
They played golf together. They were very close, and just, their friendship evolved because Lindsey started understanding what a lot of the policies that Trump had were working well, and he agreed with that. And again, they became good friends.
For a guy who started off on the wrong side of that, who then later turned around. And by the way, you hear from people all the time who, started off as Trump allies and then turned against him. this is one of the many stories that you're not hearing about a guy who started off as being anti-Trump. J.D. Vance is another example, but yeah, started off being anti-Trump and then at the end was just like, this
I
is the
love
best
this
president
guy,
of my
right.
lifetime.
Mhm.
We should be helping him achieve the things that he wants to achieve. 7:30 Dixon Dividing, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Remember when you would buy a cereal box based almost entirely on the prize inside?
Absolutely.
We'll revisit that coming up. 7:35, Dixon Divining, Talk 99.5, Talk and 99.5.com. Rain in the forecast today. Yep. Got a 70% chance, 83 for a high. Looks like about 30% tomorrow with a high of 85 and more again on Thursday, 40% with a high of 88. The temps drift into the 90s as the weekend gets closer. I was just looking a little bit at the Alabama Men's Clinic website. I send you there all the time, alabamamensclinic.com. There are such a litany of things that they work on. I push the low T because it's sort of the base of everything. You know, low testosterone it can be the cause of so many other problems that you're having in your life, that getting that taken care of might just resolve your ED issue if you have one. If it doesn't, well, they certainly do have a variety of options for treating that as well. So whether you're talking about low T, ED, both of those things, hair loss, weight loss, these are all things that can be addressed by the Alabama Men's Clinic, as well as a bunch of other problems like Peyronie's disease. You need to call them 598-7000, 598-7000, and make an appointment to improve your life, because getting the right amount of testosterone in your body is such a life improvement. It is difficult to explain exactly how much better you feel and what a difference it makes in your world until you've experienced it. $99 for the initial consultation. It's a great way to start. You'll leave there with a plan. AlabamaMen'sClinic.com. It's all about men. They're local, they're discreet, and you can find them on the telephone at 598-7000 or online at AlabamaMen'sClinic.com and make an appointment there in 30 seconds or less. I bought 2 boxes of cereal recently.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a box of Crispix because it's crispy times 2.
And these are for you.
For me.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And then, don't judge me,
We're going to judge. Here it comes.
I bought a box of Captain Crunch.
Did you really?
The family size.
Excellent.
The family size.
Family size.
It's just you.
Yep.
Are you going to cook with it? Are you going to make something with it?
No.
You know, like
I'm
lay
gonna-
it in a,
I'm gonna
make it a pie crust?
I'm going to make cereal with it,
Are
where I
ya?
pour it in
Put
a
a little
bowl and I
milk?
put milk on it,
Uh-huh.
and I eat it. And then I'm going to have a second bowl, and then I'm going to have a third bowl, and then I'm just not eating anything from that point on because the roof of my mouth will be in shreds.
Oh, it'll be
That's
be
how
awful.
that works. Usually around
That's
the
like-
third bowl is when
It's,
that
it's as bad as burning the roof of your mouth with
Oh.
your first bite of pizza.
Hot
It's-
Pocket.
The cheese is too hot, and it sticks to your
The
top of your mouth.
molten McDonald's
Oh,
apple pie.
that too.
Indeed. What I noticed, though, is that neither of these two, not that you would expect Crispix to do it, but, you know, Captain Crunch, no prize inside,
Nothing?
no little toy.
Little plastic toy
No,
in
nothing.
there? Nothing?
I'm a little upset by that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a
I
shame.
was kind of like, what the hell's going on here? There's a little game on the back of the box.
No.
Well, you're not good
no,
enough.
there has to be a prize
Exactly.
inside the box.
I expect there to be
I
some
don't want
little...
some game. That's cheat. That didn't. No,
Mhm.
that doesn't work.
This is how we used to decide which cereal we were going to get when we were children.
Mm-hmm.
You'd walk down the aisle, you'd see, ooh, this one has got, such and so in it. I've got to have that. I need to buy. Well, let's revisit some of the best of the 80s. Not a lot of us were eating cereal in the 80s, so this might not hit the wheelhouse for us three.
Yeah, couldn't afford it in the 80s.
But I'm sure there are listeners. I was buying the multi-meal cereal in the big bags.
right.
That's what I could afford.
Some rice.
Kellogg's Starbots. These were a kind of a play on Transformers. This was small plastic figurines that transformed from spacecrafts into stand-up robots. Find them in boxes of Fruit Loops, Honey Smacks, Apple Jacks, and more. The little bionic dudes weren't quite as detailed as Optimus Prime or Megatron, but for a free cereal toy, the level of interactivity was pretty impressive. How about Captain Crunch Surfers?
I don't know these. What?
Surfers?
No.
Surfers.
Well, given the fact that Captain Crunch is the master of the 7 Seas, it only makes sense that this cereal would come with toys meant for the bath or pool. They did quite frequently.
Oh, okay.
Captain Crunch Surfers were plastic minifigures that could float on top of water using their tiny little surfboards. One of 3 characters could be hiding in your box: the captain himself, his nemesis Jean Lefoot, or Smedley the elephant. Smedley the elephant, of course, was from the peanut butter of Captain Crunch, which was good, but not as good as the original, in my opinion. I personally never cared for Crunch Berries at all.
No, I didn't like
Too
those
sweet.
either.
Too sweet. Wacky Wall Walkers.
What in the
I
world?
think I vaguely remember those things.
I remember this because at my second job, the midday guy came in and he had one of these things. He had stolen it from his little brother. His brother had gotten it out of the cereal box, and he was like, "Give me that!" And he took it to work. I was like, "You stole this from your little brother? You should be ashamed of yourself." It's a little octopus kind of thing that it was built out of rubber that was somewhat
like a
sticky.
slimy, sticky rubber.
Right, and it just remained sticky no matter what. I mean, you could literally wash it and it would still be sticky. But you would throw it at the wall, and it would stick on a vertical surface, and then it would walk down the wall, kind of like as it fell. It would continue to stick to the wall all the way down. This was leaving tacky residue on windows because that really was the best place to do it. But
It looks kind of gross
eventually, once they picked up enough lint and hair, they stopped.
doing
They stopped
that.
sticking. But yeah, that was a big deal, man. The Fruity Pebbles flying disc,
Like a frisbee?
Frisbee. Okay.
like a frisbee,
But
but you're
this
not
doesn't
allowed
look.
to say
This
that.
doesn't look like a
Not
frisbee.
very big, I'm sure, because it had to fit inside a cereal box.
Flying Disc got its own over-enthusiastic TV commercial. You could get a purple disc emblazoned with Fred Flintstone, an orange disc with Barney Rubble, or a white one with Dino the dinosaur. Then you might just toss it back and forth with a friend or sibling until your morning sugar rush wore off. Don't know how big it was. Big enough to fit into a, small enough to fit into a box. Big enough to make it worth your while to, toss. Has to have been some
Yeah, and you don't want it.
decent size,
yeah, you don't want to take
trying
up
to
too
figure
much
out-
room in the cereal.
I'm trying to figure out why Dino's was white. Shouldn't it have been purple?
It should have been purple, in my opinion.
Maybe they didn't have that color.
They might not. Well, the purple one actually had Fred Flintstone on it. What the hell?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
doesn't
come on.
make
You're
sense.
getting it all wrong.
Garfield bike reflectors.
What?
Okay.
This was actually Garfield's head and his two eyes were reflectors that you would then stick onto your bike, back, front, whatever. The lasagna-loving cat's face was reflective with paneling over his eyes. 16 designs to collect at one point with multiple expressions available in different colors like blue, yellow, orange, and purple,
And then you got beat up
depending on
because
where
you had
were.
these on your bike.
Possibly.
And what cereal
I'm
did
looking
these
at
come
them
in?
going, really?
What cereal did these come in? Kellogg's. Kellogg's
Oh,
cereal.
various Kellogg cereal.
Mm.
Okay. I don't
How
remember
about
that.
Oh, no.
this was top notch here. Honeycomb watches.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure that was a big hit.
One of the
So
most
they lasted
Only
years.
the color, the color's not right for the boys because it's
they
pink.
came in a variety of colors.
Oh,
it turns
very
out.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
They drifted into edgier colors like black and dark purple. This was the most technologically advanced cereal prize plastic digital watch that Post Honeycomb used to carry. The device could actually tell time, was available in neon hues like pink, blue, red, and orange. It did well enough to expand into edgier colors and sounds like a way better promo idea than the Craver, one of the worst food brand mascots to ever exist. We'll get to those.
I love
another
the
day.
description on this. That did it literally say it actually told time, or did you add that?
No, it actually tells
It
time.
does.
It
It
was a
says that.
digital watch.
The
that
device
actually tells time.
Yes,
It's
that's what
a
it
watch.
says.
Yeah.
Its
course.
designation is to tell time.
You would think, although I remember getting a watch out of a Captain Crunch box that was really nothing more than a reflector that had a little,
Clock on
kind of,
it.
it had
Yeah.
the face
the
of a
clock
clock, but it
face.
didn't really work.
Yeah.
It was just like it was supposed to be a spy watch or something stupid like that. I remember when I worked at the grocery store in 79 to 82, I want to say. And at one point, we were, as a premium, if you spent $35 or more, which was a lot back then, we were giving away these calculators. And they were solar-powered calculators.
Oh, yeah.
They were the size of a credit card, and you could fit them right into your little credit card slot in your wallet. And I thought, this is where we are now. A few years ago, these things cost $125, and now we're handing them out at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, to put a watch like this into a box of Honeycomb by the mid-1980s, this is probably a really inexpensive little premium to get people to buy your damn cereal.
Sure was.
Oh, I want a watch, Mom. I got to have the watch. I need to have the watch. 2 weeks later, it's lost or gone.
Or broken.
Dead. Yeah, something happened to it. Gremlins cereal stickers.
Gremlins cereal? There was a Gremlins cereal.
There was indeed, much like C-3POs and other discontinued cereals from the 80s. The official Gremlins cereal was a tie-in to remember every box came with a free sticker. Better yet, you could order a Gizmo plush by filling out a form on the side of the box and mailing it in with $9.95 in cash
That's
plus
a
2
lot.
proofs of purchase
What?
Wow.
for the cereal.
Plus,
For-
you had to
back
have
then,
two boxes.
You wanted the
$10
plushie.
for that.
You
That was
wanted the
pricey.
plushie. Yeah.
plus the stamp and the proof that you had bought 2 boxes of that cereal.
Yep.
So it's
Oh,
more like a
dang.
$20 investment.
In the early 2000s, my daughter wanted a Clifford the Big Red Dog that she saw in the back of a cereal box, and it was like $3.95 plus 2 proofs of purchase. So I was like, all right, this is a good lesson. We'll go
Yeah.
through this. She saved up the money. She worked to get the $3.95. I wrote the check. We sent it off. She got it back. It was a little tiny bean bag, Clifford the Big Red Dog, which she loved and played with all the time.
Yeah.
And at one point got it wet in the pool. Took it
Ooh.
upstairs to dry it. Accidentally caught it on fire with the hairdryer.
Oh, hello.
No.
Brought it to me. She's
I
like,
thought you were going to tell me she used the curling iron.
I made a mistake, Dad. I was like, okay. We put some Band-Aids on Clifford and got him back in the
Aw.
game. But, she played with it for a couple of weeks, and then it just like what you would expect, it just sort of disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
But ordering stuff from a cereal box is one of those time-honored traditions,
Oh, sure
right?
it is. Yeah.
Do you remember the best thing you ever got of a cereal
No,
box?
I don't remember.
Nothing at all?
No.
No? What about you,
remember.
Steve? Anything?
I don't remember the best thing that I ever got, but I always remember that story about the Cap'n Crunch whistle that you could blow into it and you could get free long-distance calls.
Right. That was a boatswain's whistle, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And you'd get what?
You could get free long distance. AT&T, unfortunately, had like
Serious?
it had a little sound like that you blow into the thing, and it was exactly and it was exactly the pitch and the tone that was necessary to get yourself all the free AT&T you wanted.
Yeah, it tricked AT&T's computer system into going, oh, okay, yeah, for long distance, here we go.
When-
And you didn't have to pay for it.
When somebody figured that out, finally they fixed it. But that was when I had both a scuba diver. Both of these came from Captain Crunch. A scuba diver and a submarine that I was only allowed to use in the basement laundry sinks. You fill those things up with water, and you could put a little tiny bit of soap, like on a part of the submarine, and it would propel it through the water because of the way that soap and water work. That's
Right.
just the way it is. And same thing with the little scuba guy, and the scuba guy's little legs would kick. I was like, I want
That's
to
what
use
you
this in the
remember.
bathtub. They're like,
Yeah.
no, because you never take care of things, and you'll leave it in there, and someone will step on it, and no, we're not going
Ow.
to. I was like,
Oh.
she was right. I'm not going to lie. She was correct in that assumption. But yeah, those were like the
Or it
best
ends
toys.
up down the drain.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm sure I broke both of them eventually anyway, because let's face it, they were cereal box toys. They were by definition cheap as hell. Except, of course, the honeycomb watch, which
Yeah,
rocked.
that was pricey.
748 with Dixon inviting your thoughts are welcome. 545-9950. People forget Roger Daltrey had a couple of solos as well. You know, Pete Townsend was the big one, but Roger Daltrey had a couple of good ones. He did the soundtrack to the movie McVicker, which he was in as well. Good stuff there. 7:52, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. Dixon and Vining with you on what could be a moist Tuesday. HHM Roofing and Construction ready to help you out if your roof begins to give way. When you begin to see those wet spots on your ceiling, and then you go up into the attic and you kind of hunt around a little bit and you go, okay, there it is. That's not necessarily where it's coming in on the outside. Water is very tricky that way. It runs along lines and along troughs and things. Your actual leak in your shingles or in your outer roof could be literally 15 feet, 20 feet away in any direction from where your actual leak on the inside is. And you'll have no idea where that is until you have the experts on board. That's what HHM Roofing and Construction is all about. If you do have a leaky roof, you need to get the pros here to help you out with that. The guys who have nothing but 5-star reviews, which I find so incredibly impressive. Ryan and his lovely bride have put a load of explainer videos on their website, hhmroofs.com, hhmroofs.com. They're very short. They're very easy on the eyes, easy to understand, extremely digestible. And they always want me to remind you that financing is available. You're not having to take a huge bite and pay for a whole roof at once. They'll take care of you along those lines. Whether you're talking about repair, replacement, maintenance, inspection, or emergency service, make it the most transparent roofing company, the ones who actually have an instant estimator right there on their website, HHM Roofing and Construction. Their phone number, 396-7077, 396-7077. Or find them online, hhmroofs.com. McGee points out about the story from L.A. A dead guy in the aisle. Wonder how many customers wanted to get his coupons. Really?
Wow. Brutal.
Man, this guy just collapsed right here. What do? We'll check his wallet.
In his hand are his coupons.
Sam, imagine the tirade Napoleon would go on if there was no prize in his cereal box.
Ooh.
Did I miss something? Is this from, like, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure or something I'm not aware of?
Maybe.
Jerry the Angry Tucker says, my daughters ridicule me every time I buy my Fruit Loops.
You buy those Fruit Loops, Jerry, and enjoy every bite.
You do you, man.
They're
That's
a
right.
little too sweet for me. I bought some many years ago because I was like, I remember loving Fruit Loops as a kid.
Yeah, delish.
Yeah, and I took like one spoonful. I was like, whoa, diabetes. And then I remembered as a child, I would not only pour the Fruit Loops, but I would also sprinkle a little sugar over the top. Because they were kind of bland.
No.
They were a little bland without that extra sugar on there, you know? Noel says Kellogg's cereal gave away Hot Wheels back in the 80s and 90s, and you could mail in to get special edition Hot Wheels that are very rare today.
Man, those are expensive.
A lot of cereal box toys
Yeah.
have turned out to be quite, because they're rare. They were done specifically for that run and nothing else. I watch these stupid shows on Discovery where they talk about, toys, and rare toys and things of that nature. And yeah, that's one of the things that you can really find is like, oh, this only was in a cereal box for 6 months in 1979. And you're like, okay, if you're a collector, I'm sure you love that. I have no use for it. Sean, Captain Crunch Berry is my guilty pleasure, but a game on the back of the box and no prize? How dare they? I'd have boycotted them back in the day as a child and ate Fruity Pebbles in protest. I want my wacky wall crawler, damn it. Don't we all? Edwin says, I remember and had every single one of those cereal box toys.
Wow.
You were a child of the 80s, Edwin. Good for you. With the Gremlins, you need a watch that tells time, says James. Good point. Got to know when it's midnight.
That's right.
Don't feed them
Don't
after
wanna-
that. We know how that
Brilliance
goes.
with that.
For the love of
toy.
God, don't get them wet. Doris says, I had a cat that would play fetch. I would take the sticky octopus, throw it onto the ceiling.
Oh, gosh.
She would wait for it to fall, then bring it to me to do it again.
Wonder how long that took.
I
Wonder how long it
Doris,
took
how long
before.
did
Wait a
you-
minute,
like
it's
10
not coming down.
minutes?
Oh, wait a minute, it's coming
Yeah.
down real slow. What the heck?
Talk about occupying your cat.
Ronnie says, the compass was given away, I remember as a child. Yes, absolutely. A compass was given away, I believe that was in Cap'n Crunch. Because they
And then your parents would say, go take a long walk and get lost.
They also had a ring with a secret compartment in it, which was the most
That was
obvious,
kinda cool.
most obvious secret compartment anybody's ever seen in a ring ever.
Sure.
Honeycomb had an Archie's record on the back of the box. You had to
I
cut it
remember
out.
that.
It played
I kind of
twice.
vaguely remember that. Yeah.
You could play it twice
That was it.
before it gave way on you. Yeah. Long ago, I got a toy submarine that you put a pinch of baking soda in the hull, would sink, take on water, form a bubble, which would make it surface. The bubble would escape, and the sub would dive again, and so on. Yes, I've heard of this toy. I never had
They
one.
need to bring it back.
I had the one with the soap, but my parents probably wouldn't have let me near the baking soda anyway. One of my kids called me an old man this morning. We laughed for a while, and then I changed the Wi-Fi password system.
Not so funny anymore.
That was the Jeff joke of the day. That'll teach you.
That's good.
That's actually his best joke in a
It's
while.
pretty funny.
Scott says, I love it when you guys wax nostalgic over mailing in cereal box tops and payments for a prize. I remember sending a white envelope with cereal box tops and a bunch of quarters to make a purchase. There's no way the postage covered the weight of that envelope, yet a month later, I would receive my purchase in the mail.
Sweet.
Crazy.
That is sweet.
I remember George Carlin did a bit about that, writing off to get your whatever it was, and then try to picture Battle Creek, Michigan in your mind. That's where they did all of the fulfillment. Battle Creek, Michigan's where Kellogg's was originally located. I remember 45 RPM records in the back of the cereal boxes. Yes, Dave, that's we were just talking about that. I don't know. There was a time when that premium in the box was it really inspired the sales. It's what you got, in the box more than the cereal itself, because all the cereals tasted the same. They were all sugary and sweet. Some had a little graham flavor. Some of them tasted like oats, whatever. But think about this, kids. This is how far back we're going. Honey Nut Cheerios didn't exist. Cheerios was Cheerios, and that was it.
That was it.
There were about 8 or 10.
We didn't care for Cheerios because there wasn't enough sugar on it.
No,
we
are
didn't
you
care
kidding?
about it.
You
That was
added
like-
sugar. Come on.
That was an
Yeah.
adult cereal. Nobody wanted that.
Absolutely it was.
You're going to make me eat Cheerios? Can I have the sugar, Dad?
Corn Flakes, Wheaties, Raisin Bran, a handful of the sugary ones, Fruit Loops and Tricks.
Well,
And
Frosted Flakes was high
Oh.
on my list.
they're
I loved
great.
Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, loved them too, man. But there were probably 15, maybe 20 cereals to choose from in the cereal aisle altogether. And, 21 if you count Product 19.
Now it's from one end to the other.
Oh, my God.
Both
Nonstop.
sides.
And Cheerios is taking up half the shelf.
That's right.